All right. Shall we? If I remember how to do this DM thing.
You're really out of practice.
I don't know, man. It's been a while.
You usually
Been a
start every
while.
session by giving 3 bottle caps, I think. That's what I remember.
That's about right.
Is that it?
Yeah. You can give yourself one, though.
But it stays with Corwin.
Okay. Let us begin. We'll just keep this music going because I like it. All right. So, you just survived. Some of us barely. The mind of Clavius. A perhaps trap set for you by whatever force still remains in this world of your old companion turned foe. Coming to the other side with a few worthwhile treasures that may prove quite useful as you carry on your quest, and possibly you may have come to the other side with a new outlook regarding what contributed or made Clavius into the man that he became before he met his ultimate end. The lights fade in, and like most great sessions of Dungeons and Dragons do, we begin in a tavern. It is, of course, the seeming Coney. Looking outside, it appears to be evening. Empty, but for the group of your party sitting in the section of the bar built especially to accommodate its Furbolg patrons, a bit larger than the rest of the halfling bar. With you, your newest ally, Sir Carwin, and it seems an old friend, although the head of Kavan that once sat beside his own atop his wide shoulders now rests atop the wooden table. Appears to have been removed from the once two-headed creature who Stephen had traveled with before. And as you came out of the mind of Clavius, you were greeted with some words from Nathaniel. Pardon.
Well, it seems like you fared just as well in there as I did. It's nice to see you. To answer your first question, I won. As he taps the forehead of Kavan. I really must thank you, first and foremost. Whatever that place is, it lives, seemingly, at least to me, outside of time and space. I was in there for who knows how long. Occasionally would come out, sometimes here, sometimes somewhere else. Sometimes there would be people, sometimes not. I never knew what to expect on those rare occasions when I was given reprieve. But apparently there is a limit to the attention of that thing. And I think when you went in, I came out, and it was an opportune time because I was just kind of waiting at that point. So, before any of the logistical questions that probably will come up for me, I just wanted to say thank you. I thought I might have ended up trapped in there forever. So how did you fare? It looks like you are all in one piece.
We survived. But, who are you, my good fellow? I'm glad we could help you, but I've never met you before.
Nathaniel would know Stephen, probably only.
Yeah, he would know Steven, and then the rest of us did see kind of these flashes of him in the Mind of Clavius. We got to see some like scenes play out. So it's like familiar to us, but
We've seen him, but only moments ago.
exactly. And then there's Steven probably would have been able to share at some point about him to some extent. So maybe we like
Even elaborate right now.
the two-headed guy, right? I think that maybe would have come up at some point. But yeah, I mean, we don't know this person, like, but Steven does.
Well, good sir, you travel in high company. Allow me to introduce myself to you and your party. My name is Nathaniel. Nathaniel, newly dubbed Knight of Botilla. And it is my great honor and pleasure to greet you here in this tavern. And you are?
Call me Owl.
You can see that, and you would surmise that he maybe not too fond of owls after the last 1 to however many months he feels like he experienced inside the mind of Clavius, and the owl that was in there, but is very cordial. And would need a bevy of perceptions better than last week to be able to tell that he is a little put off by an owl. And you, sir? Yes, you, the one with the drink.
You kind of see that ever since coming back, Lucas has really just been somewhat panicked and trying to find something to drink. And he kind of is wincing as he's drinking his beer. And he says, Lucas, sorry, Lucas Bramblebottom.
No, Lucas, the pleasure is all mine. And anyone who walks along with Stephen as good company to me, can only assume he has grown in power to have made it through whatever you must have gone through since last we met. I can't imagine your road has been any easier than mine. Although I certainly would not trade what I went through. It was quite a challenge. I hat us off to you.
Carwin will step up and extend a small little gauntleted arm. Greetings, it is nice to make your acquaintance. Any fellow Botilla follower is always nice to meet. I am happy to hear that we helped you escape somehow. It was horrible in there, and I'm still not quite sure where it was. If you don't mind, you've just come out, or you've been out for some time. Do you know when? I don't know how long we've been in there.
Just long enough for me to get my bearings. I very well could have Passed out from exhaustion. But to my experience, it's just been only a few moments that I've been here. But again, I would not put it past me. It was quite an ordeal. I could have been sitting here for days, for all I know. It was a lifetime of hardship in there, and then some.
Kind of like just like grips his like the sigil that hangs around his neck, and I see. I think it's safe to say that we might need a night before going on our journey. I'm going to collect what I can. There's rations. We can make a meal for the group of us. And he kind of looks to Steven, essentially just making sure that Steven's cool with Nathaniel, which Steven gives him a thumbs up. And a little fire on the top of his thumb. It's very cool, just like Steven would do. But Carwin will kind of, you see him head, and the place looks different than it did when you first walked in. When you first entered and Pimlin was here and there was the waiter, like this place was very like lived in and welcoming and warm and had that scent. Now it looks like you would expect. It looks abandoned. A lot of things are pushed against the walls. There's a lot of crates and stuff against the walls as well. Things like kind of stacked up, and you can see that a lot of it is collected probably from homes in the area and like sheds and things. Like there's just a lot of like random objects that he's kind of been collecting here, and he kind of told you a little bit about that on your walk over this way. So he starts going and like picking through a few things, and like you see him maybe go out front and start, kind of collecting some things to start some kind of cook fire. But so Carwin's kind of collecting some stuff as you guys do that, as he's trying to be a bit of a host, if you will. And also he lays on some hands onto himself to give himself some hit points. I think he had like 20 lay on hands hit points remaining. He's feeling that shit.
Speaking of feeling awful, Lagandu, how are you?
In here?
I just heard a weird noise. Like blurbed. Might have mic issues. Yeah, mic issues. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
It did sound, I did for a moment hear a underwater sound.
Yeah. I heard warble, 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 Lagandu, warble, warble. And then Crop staring at me.
Alright. Must have opened too much. Speaking of injured friends, Lagandu. Took a big one in there, didn't you?
Definitely wouldn't be opposed to a night's rest somewhere around here.
I will begin brewing some tea. Make the place a little more homely, if Carwin doesn't mind.
You hear from like across the room, "Make yourself at home!" As he's like, most of the top half of him is inside of a box, trying to reach for something at the very.
So one thing that would happen on this evening is Nathaniel would tell Stephen, and you'd all be privy to it. Basically what happened, he would say, he would tell his tale, and he would probably even describe it as his newfound testimony. He would tell you what he knows about Clavius, Kavan, and the Soldanus. And while never having seen the Soldanus directly, he came to discover that it was Kavan that was the pupil of the Soldanus, and basically Nathaniel was just added on as a trial and test, although this whole time he thought he was being initiated into the 12 too. Turns out he was just there to harden Kavan, and that on the surface, the purpose of the Soldanus and the 12 is to turn great warriors into fierce battle masters, that when whatever happens in the world happens, their belief is only 12 will remain, and they're training to be some of those 12. He has come to find out that, at least he thinks, that the plan of the Soldanus, whoever that may be, is a little more sinister. That he always seems to pick on people that have pieces of their personality that are highly exploitable. And he would definitely talk about Kavan as an example. He would talk about Clavius as an example, who he called the Soldanus' prize pupil. He knows about Selig in passing, and how he hopes that Selig wins his personal internal struggle to not let himself slip entirely into this world. And he would say that basically after Kavan stole the body of Clavius, they came north, and just before they got to Brandy, met up with the twins, where Clavius was raised, but raised into maybe something a little different. And the next thing he knew, he, along with Kavan, along with Clavius, were inside this place, inside this mind of Clavius, or he might even say inside the soul of Clavius. He would relay his thoughts about the waiter child echo and the shadow, and how the shadow oftentimes seemed to act independently and maybe even be in charge. And would talk about how inside the mind of Clavius, he and Kavan were actually separate entities. That in there, they would have great battles, but it was almost like a handicap match, where Clavius and the Shadow and Abdulbaith would basically never let him win. And he would admit that, like, he grew up very the spirit of man in triumph over anything. But in there, like, his spirit was getting closer and closer to being completely broken, up until the point where he finally humbled himself and reached out to Botilla. And as he did so, inside of the mind of Clavius, two things happened. One, Kavan, Clavius, and the Shadow turned against each other, if only for a moment, which gave him an opening to push his greatsword into the back of Kavan and kill him. He fully believes that whatever happens inside the mind of Clavius, like, if it happens in there, it happens in real life, kind of thing. And when he did so, the Shadow went to stab Nathaniel with that shadow blade that you saw him just eviscerate people with. But it kind of clanged off his armor, and as he looked down, he was clad in this beautiful adamantine half breastplate that completely just made this shadow knife clang off of it and fall to the ground. Now the shadow turned to Clavius and the child as if he blamed them for creating that special piece of armor. But Nathaniel 100% thinks he was the beneficiary of a miracle of Botilla. And he knows about the burning. He knows, that there's no tangible proof of God's, but he feels like he was handpicked to survive that moment. And he used that shadow blade to cut off the head of Kavan within the mind of Clavius. And as he completed it, that's when they were warped out, as you were warped in, as you gained the attention of the mind of Clavius. And sure enough, as he had cut off the head of Kavan inside, when he came out, the head of Kavan was severed. And so that he would tell you that tale, one, to be like, it's really a good thing that you survived, because that wasn't just like a dream sequence. Like, there's consequences and repercussions for what go on in there. But as far as like how long he's been in there, he doesn't know. When he would come out from time to time, when Kavan would get booted out and get pulled back in, he never knew when or where he was going to come. But that was the beginning of his like trek and journey. So although he knows very little to nothing about Botilla other than the warped rendition of what that might have been within the mind of Clavius, he feels like he owes his life to this god now. And so anything that he can do in order to kind of champion himself against the powers of whatever might be like that shadow, whatever might be like that evil, he's going to do it. So that would be his kind of story to you. And as he listened to like your tale of what went on in there and how you actually won and may very well have ended that horror, he would have been in your debt greatly, because he was still scared of being pulled back in. So that's his story.
Guessing that means you don't know anything about the shrine of Botilla near here.
This tavern is about all I know of this city. Is the shrine in the city?
We think it might be on the outskirts, at the foot of the mountains, north of here.
This might be, depending on which side of the table I sit on, the furthest north I've been. I wish I could tell you more. But sadly, I didn't have a lot of agency when I was here. But I certainly would love to see the shrine and pay my homage.
I think our crossing paths is fate, then. It seems almost like providence. We are searching for Botilla, and two of her followers fall right in front of us. I think you are right, my new friend. Arwen. Arwen.
He finally comes over with some plates, some pots. Well, it's not the steaming conies stew, but it is my best approximation. And he starts kind of handing out. Would you mind maybe removing the severed head from the table before we?
Yeah, he would. he would probably say something like, I don't know if it's offensive to you and your people, but like if we can throw this into that big stew pot and have Steven shoot off a bunch of fireballs into it, he wants to be rid of it. And does not want it to be able to be revivified or resurrected or true resurrected or any other things that he doesn't know about.
Well, that may be beyond our powers here.
He wants to do whatever he can to finish the job.
I'm sure Steven can make that happen.
Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't. He wouldn't mind fireballing it out back.
He might enjoy it, actually.
Yeah, I'll probably do it before bed so that he can get his spells back. But
Very Steven.
Gotta plan that out. But yeah, so Carwin will join you and just start eating. It's it's stew. It's fine. It's not like been cooking for a long time, and it's made with dried rations as the main meat that's been added. But it's not terrible.
Oh, how long
Yes.
have
Yes.
you lived in Brandy your whole life?
Yes, most of it. Yes. Spent most of my time here.
And I can't recall after our spell in the Shadow World. Yes, did you say you knew anything about the shrine outside of town to Botilla?
Yes, I'm sure I'm the one that told you about it, isn't it?
Right, sorry. My age, memory gets a little fuzzy.
Yes, it's it is where I've been staying. It is what saved me from the burning,
Right.
I suppose.
That's right, it's coming back.
But you all said you were looking for something up north, and maybe that could be an outpost for you, somewhere for you to stay while you looked for whatever it is you were seeking. Or
Is there anything else you could tell us about this? Rumors, myths, legends?
regarding
Botilla Shrine, her legacy in this town.
oh well, Lady of Fortune. She's favored by many of. He kind of like gives Lucas a little. Our kind. She looks down favorably upon us, and does her best to impart her fortune and luck where it should go. But she lives by it. Luck is not always. Well, if you flip a coin, yeah, you will get 50-50, So sometimes it falls on the wrong side.
Aware of the concept of luck.
Yes. I'm sure you are.
But I think we are lucky to have you.
Well, I do hope so. If not for my cooking, then just for my personality. I will say I'm concerned about what just befell us. But I will also, on the other side of the coin, as it were, say that you all seem very sturdy and able to handle yourselves. And if I were to have walked into this place alone, I don't know if I would have walked back out.
I think any of us would have walked out had we faced it alone. Nathaniel only managed to because we interrupted.
And he
Yes.
He would say under his breath, and because they toyed with me. Like you know, like he's been through just a nightmare and wanted to die 100% in there.
Well, through your Sisyphean efforts, you did survive.
Yeah, so I think we should be safe. I suspect to spend the night here. If that's a little too much, we can certainly go to one of the other inns, though this is the nicest and the largest in town. Most accommodating for travelers. But in the morning, I can take you. Out of town and into the foothills, if that is what you desire. These things that we've found in there or were bestowed upon us. I'm sure you can verify that they are safe. I don't think I'd want them to stay here, I guess. Is all I'm saying. And he's just kind of talking about the ring and the staff and the goggles.
Flavius's.
Yeah, the fun things.
Bad juju from them.
Carmen's just a little
He got a little superstition.
superstitious. Okay.
All right. Not be here long. We thank you for your hospitality.
I will be doing a quick patrol around town. I must also find Poppy. Just forgot to call her back.
Unless she wasn't pulled in there with us.
Yes. Yes, that could have been interesting. It's very fun for me, actually.
She might have known more of the answers.
But he will basically show you to where like rooms are, and get you guys all set up, and he'll show you all the like supplies and say if there's anything that you need. It's all just mundane shit.
Before he leaves, or maybe after he comes back, like
either
one
way,
of the
it's
things
fine.
Nathaniel would do is like probably it would be a real standoff, depending on how loquacious this guy is, because like Nathaniel is of course overly eager to learn about all things Botilla from an authoritative figure on the matter. And I don't know if this is a stereotypical halfling, but like usually they enjoy telling stories. So it's like, who's going to give out first? The guy asking a billion questions or the guy responding with a billion stories?
Mm-hmm.
But whatever free time, and I don't know if anything would come down from the DM Book of Lore that would be interesting to us, or if it's just more like bringing him up to speed with what the rest of the party already knows. But that would be like a big driver for him.
Yeah, so how much do you suspect Nathaniel knows of Botilla, like on a scale of 1 to 10?
So
Normal.
Nathaniel, I mean, obviously he growing up in the area of the Vale, like he would know of the gods, but he absolutely had no use for them. So outside of like, it's like asking a peasant, what do you know about the great houses of this land? Well, they might recognize the flag and, the sigil. So he might know, some of the symbols,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that there's luck and fortune involved. That's pretty much it.
Okay, so like, let's say that either when he gets back, or even if you talk to him before, he might be like, let's, come with me. I'm happy to, and as you're patrolling or something, I think that's kind of fun. He kind of like regales you with stories and things, and let's say just we'll make one general insight check while you're that or religion, your choice. First roll of the night, 18. Solid. Yeah, so he does meet that like general halfling, like very willing to share and stuff. I think like as you guys are circling back to the steaming coney to meet back up with everyone, I don't know if some people may have already gone to sleep, some people, whatever, but I think something that you pick up on maybe with an 18 is that a lot of it's kind of generic. That he's talking about mostly pretty generic stuff, and maybe some of it you haven't really heard in detail, and maybe he's going into a little more detail. But I think your impression is like maybe you just expected a little bit more, a little bit more unique outlook, or a little bit more in-depth conversation about like certain aspects of like his life following this god. Something maybe just feels like huh, okay,
And
interesting.
I can roll again if you want me to, but my follow-up kind of musing would be, does he not know, or is he not telling me because he's like a racist and only halflings should be able to, worship Botilla, or some other reason? Like, is it being held back on purpose, or does he?
Yeah, you can roll insight on that because that's fun.
Not advantage.
No. Well, let's just give you a. Yeah, I don't think you even think that he's holding. I'll say that. It's just a little thin. Just seems a little thin. But he's like being very friendly and like very happy to like continue telling like random like stories, but it's just not like, it's not a hearty stew.
That was good. That was good. He'll say one more thing, and just see if he can get some sort of a reaction. Well, I thank you for imparting this wisdom on me. I hope to learn more at the shrine, and who knows, after all this is said and done, maybe I'll make my home around the shrine, and perhaps we could keep this land safe until Botilla's return together. You seem like a hardy warrior, at least by look, and if you survived inside the mind, I would be willing to learn under your tutelage. Does he seem like put off that?
No, he like he like almost stands up a little straighter. And, it would be my honor to take you on as a squire, though I think I would be. I think I would learn much from you as a warrior. I think you are, by the looks of you, probably a bit more established in that sense. And I think we could learn a lot from each other. If traveling with the rest of them isn't in the cards for you, I would be.
Oh yes,
Happy
it
to
is.
have your help.
It is. But every journey has an end, and hopefully ours is a happy ending with a bit of retirement at the end.
Well, my doors, and he kind of points to the entirety of Randy, are always open, and I do hope that one day they will be filled again. And that it starts with one. So I will be sure to make up your room. He kind of opens the door. Poppy has joined you, the big direwolf, on this walk. I don't know what everybody else is doing, if anybody else is doing anything specific. Or
Yeah, I would do one more thing before bedtime time. We would do kind of spend some time meditating and doing sort of like, I guess, purity ritual, kind of offering peaceable passing for Clavius. Hopefully, throwing some good juju to at least this locale. And you just see him he'd be like, he'd find like the center of the tavern and just sit Lotus style. And do kind of small little ritual things for that.
burning some incense and
Burning
stuff.
some incense,
And
tossing some water over the shoulder. Yeah, just
yeah, I think a cleanse of
Offering-
the face is nice.
offering a prayer, because he knew this is obviously a different Clavius than the one he
Mhm.
knew.
Yeah.
One who, he, as far as he sees it, was corrupted by an influence that, for whatever reason, didn't influence the Clavius in his world and went a different path completely.
Yeah.
So, and he understands the concept of like the prime and the alternate timeline, and he knows this was the prime Clavius, and it saddens him a little bit that this was the true one, that he went this far south from the one he knew. So he's just offering earnest prayer for his passing, even though some others in the party might not appreciate such.
Yeah, I assume Steven is not
Yeah,
in the
Steven
room
might
while
not
that
like-
happened. He probably bounced while that was going on.
yeah.
Lucas is just, he's drinking till the wee hours, and as his buzz comes back, you find him back into his more jovial and talkative spirits than maybe the irritable, one might call hungover state that he was in, coming out of Clavius's soul.
Yeah, that's good. I think at some point Carwin would, if Lucas was still up before they go to bed, he would kind of come over and you notice Carwin doesn't he hasn't take any liquor in front of you, but he does come over and drink out of a cup of some kind, drinking something. Well, it was quite a exhilarating day for me. I was expecting none of this, and though it was horrifying, honestly, it turns out I've got quite a bit of company, and this feeling is just nice. Having people around.
It is. Adventure's always better with more people around. How long has it been? Since
I've not seen. I've truly not seen anyone for months. It's been not anyone living, I guess. So this is good. Maybe I'm too quick to trust, but it worked in my favor. this time. You're an adventurer, then. Is this what you do?
I mean, Guildmaster would be a more appropriate title.
Cheers to that, my friends.
He'll cheers. No doubt you've heard of the exploits of the immortal Barracuda.
And you can see him thinking. You know, it does ring a bell, actually. I think I've read something about it.
In the papers, perhaps, or, you mentioned my kin being around. Perhaps you've heard from my grandfather, Brent Bramblebottom.
Oh, it probably was him. Yes. Yes, yes, there was a Storo Town many years ago. There was the Barracuda, triumphant in some tournament. Is that? Am I down
Precisely.
the right path?
Precisely. The traditional battle over the Crimson Jaguar. The bastards didn't know what hit them.
It is, and you have connection to them. So the guild is still intact then?
Well, yes, of course. The unfortunate death of Ooze did take its toll on us all, but it's
Must have died.
it's been okay.
Well, this is incredible. There is this wonderful way that people carry on the things from yore and continue them forward. It is. I'm beside myself. Just learning so much. And these people that you travel with, they're all part of your troop, or?
No, I wouldn't say any of them are part of the Immortal Barracuda, although they'd be more than welcome to try out if they'd like. But no, they're just some traveling companions that I've got. Our paths happen to cross, and I can't help but continue or want to be a part of some very exciting adventure. And when you say, "Hey, the stake of the universe is what we're dealing with here," say no more.
Well, if I had known that, I mean, I would have done the exact same thing, I guess.
Like you said before, sometimes it comes up heads, sometimes it comes up tails.
That is quite true. But he kind of grips the thing again, kind of just plays with it. I know this might be, difficult to be here, but if you would, I can take you by the old farmhouse on the way out of town. See the old Bramblebottom estate before heading into the foothills. If that's of interest to you, it's quite beautiful. If we have a sunny morning, it will be a sight to behold. It's a bit overgrown, but it's a quite beautiful area.
Yes, of course, I would love that.
Oh, great. I look forward to it.
As do I. And he'll go to cheers him again.
You will. Cheers you. And as he's kind of getting ready to walk away. So you really never put that down then? He looks to your other hand, holding the spear.
Oh, believe me, I couldn't get rid of this thing if I tried. I don't know if you noticed in wherever it was we were this morning. But No matter what, it always comes back, and he'll kind of let go of it, and you'll see it fall to the floor and then disappear in gold and reappear back in his hand.
This is quite strange. So is it a boon or a curse?
Well, and you kind of see Lucas like stare off into the sun for a minute, or the stars, I guess. I ask myself that question quite frequently. It's the only thing I've found next to Uza's body, but it has given me and the immortal Barracuda great strength. So, look to your goddess and flip the coin.
Just kind of
Nathaniel
like,
would wince at all this coin mentioning.
yeah, he chose a guy that likes coins as well. Yeah, Carwin will kind of take that in and make sure that everyone knows where their places that they can stay are tonight. And all right, it's been quite a long day. I think I'm going to turn in. I am exhausted and very, very hurt still. But yeah, if anyone else needs to do anything, wants to do anything, or if sleep is on the horizon for everyone.
Is Al
Okay.
done with his
Yeah.
seance?
Yeah, he'd be done with his little ritual seance, whatever you want to call it.
Cool. I'm gonna walk up to you and kind of as you're starting to head in, give me a minute before you head in, if you don't mind. Maybe outside.
Sure. What is it, Lagandu? He follows you, so wherever you want to leave him to talk.
Yeah, just outside. Should we really travel with that new guy?
Daniel or Carwin?
Yeah, Nathaniel. I mean,
And
how do we know his head was the one that needed to be cut off.
now I'll do a retro insight check on Nathaniel, just like general truthly vibe.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, he and Steven would probably back this up after seeing Kavan rescue the body of Clavius. Like anyone who was at odds with Kavan would probably be on the good side. But yeah, he seems maybe a little bit like a zealot because of his new faith, but he seems sincere.
Earnest by it.
And his stated purpose of like eradicating evil and destroying things of that nature and bringing things back to the way they were in the quote-unquote good old days, like it jives.
And then I'll just add on, just putting a few more words into Steven's mouth. But I I think just one thing that Steven could definitely like, just from spending time with Nathaniel Kavan when they were two-headed, like it was super clear. Like I think Steven did think Kavan was really cool when they were traveling together. But I also think, like Will said, seeing the body of Kavan being stolen from the bag, the body that was secreted away, like, but also he can at least vouch for the fact that when one of them was in control, one of them was in control. And that was always clear. And so Steven would be able to at least vouch for that. Like, that was like, when it was Kavan Day, Nathaniel meant nothing. And when it was Nathaniel Day, Kavan meant nothing. Like, they seemed to hate each other, but not, be able to do anything about it. So, just to add a little bit more to that. But continue.
Express some of that vibe, and then you would also add, kind of reinstate what he said earlier. I do not think it's coincidence, the time that we chose to come here and who we happened to meet. I think it's Providence. I think we can trust him. We have to.
Maybe. I guess we'll see.
I am wrong. Hopefully we can deal with it when the time comes.
Yeah. I suppose you're right. Alright.
Maybe
I'll
not
have
drop
to
our
bed
guard
my
for now.
feathered friend.
Yes.
No, we'll keep an eye out.
Same. In all directions.
Yeah.
He turns his body and
Alright
walks
then.
away, but his head keeps staring at you.
Jeez. Don't do that.
Chuckles to himself as he leaves.
I love Lagan. You're like, don't do that.
Don't
You
do
gotta-
that.
You gotta not do that. Amazing. Alright. Well, first, know that you do, in fact, manage full rest. What just happened? Yeah, so you do manage a full rest, so you'd be able to give yourself back all those things. Wake up in the morning in the steaming coney, to Carwin cooking some more food. This time it smells a bit fresher, smells pretty dang good. But we'll return from our 8:16 break having the party just finished. Breckers and brandy.
Okay.
So brew coffee for morning.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Okay. So, you have breakfast. Everyone is refreshed. A bunch of people together. Don't guess I don't need to bring Kavan's head. I'll just leave it in the steaming coney. If we ever come back here, it's just sitting on that table. Even though it's burnt up, canonically, Steven killed it. There was a ceremony and everything. Anyone that wanted to go could have watched Steven fireball Kavan's head into nothingness. Guess. I don't know. Let's go to this page because I haven't used it enough and it's cute. So good. Look at those little houses. Look at you guys little walking through these little houses. Oh, Zelman's over there. Alright, Zelman.
So is like all the architecture in Brandy like more fit for halflings, like the door
Much of it
short?
Much of it is. There is much of Brandy is halfling centric. Like it is built more for them than anyone else.
Thought about that until this moment.
Yeah. There is a lot. There is a lot of travel that goes through Brandy, and the fun part is the Furbolg communities that live to the north are big. They come to Brandy a lot. They are in Brandy often. They were. So a lot of the places have like places built for their size or doors that allow them to enter and things like that more easily. But some don't, and that's even more fun. The Steaming Coney obviously had a whole section. There's the other Brandy. This is also very Brandy. Here you go. Show to players. Boom. So that's like another kind of image of Brandy vibes at the foot of the mountains. Cool place. Cool place, this one. And yeah, it is mainly halflings here. Large amount of them. Large amount of small little guys. So a few points of order. Does anyone attune to any of this stuff? You got the goggles of refined vision that require attunement, and then the staff of create shadow the staff of create shadow is not attunement. Just the goggles are attunement.
What did the staff do again?
If you scroll up a little bit, it should be there. If not, I can
Oh, is
copy
it on
down
the
again.
journal?
It's not in the journal, but it's in. Well, what is?
Oh,
This?
is it in the?
It's in the chat.
Oh, I see. It's at the end.
Yeah, if it didn't reload for you, I can recopy it.
No, that's useless to me. It's strength int.
Yeah, and then there's the ring of find the path as well, but that one's also not attunement.
I just get the feeling that Steven would want the ring of find the path if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean it can be used by anybody.
You gotta want his secrets. He
Does
doesn't
have
need 2 secret pathfinders.
It's true.
Well, he ain't here, so if Lagandu wants it, Lagandu got it.
I think that is fair.
Seems fair enough to me.
And Find the Path is pretty powerful. It lasts
Yeah,
for
find the path is a very cool spell.
24 hours. And so especially if you have like movement, you could in theory use it here, and if you had movement, you could like ask for it to find the last cup that was ever drank from in Storo Town. And like you could teleport over there and still have, the ability, like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a 6th level spell.
You want it?
And, I mean, Lagandu has no use for it, really. He knows his path.
Hold on to it for now, then. If Steven so eagerly wants it later, he can maybe get it. Is it just called Ring of Find the Path?
Yeah.
And it has 3 uses.
I think it has. Yeah. Right? Is that right?
3,
Yeah.
Anybody goggling up?
No,
Advantage
sir.
on range. Oh yeah, we don't. Who's ranged? Nobody
When
really
those-
in this
When
party.
those were made in the original email in 2022, obviously that was the Xerxes item, but he's not here.
Yeah. Well, you can always hold on to them, and you all know that the other group is out there. That you hope to come back. So holding on to them is not a bad thing. And then the staff. Can anybody use that guy? Or want to? Or do you need a moment from Shadows? You know, I get it. You tell me.
Take it if my stats. I could use its stats. But Al has
We may have-
additional strength.
We may have to just store these things for final battle and see what makes the most sense.
Yeah, storage. Storage for now seems fine. So Carwin will begin the journey, letting you guys take whatever kind of rations and stuff. He'll actually probably ask you if you would be willing to carry a few things, because like he's been moving some things up there just so that he has some more things when he isn't in town. And it's just nifty to be able to have a few more pairs of hands that might, carry some random like rations, things like that. It's pretty mundane shit that he's asking for you guys to mule. And his plan is to swing you by Lucas's ancestors or descend, not direct descendants, but I don't know how to say what Lucas's family farm.
Lucas had he had like cousins and
Yeah.
His grandfather was from there, but
earlier.
that's about it. Yeah, that was way.
So yeah, he was gonna swing by that on the way out of town and then head towards this place where he believes that he brought up to you guys this like little shrine of Botilla. Because he doesn't necessarily at this point know that that's what you're looking for. That hasn't really been made clear to him. So just to like keep that card on the table, he is like saying that this is an outpost for you guys to like use to look for whatever it is that you guys are seeking out there, and like that's kind of as much as he knows. He doesn't necessarily know that you're seeking the shrine of Botilla directly. At this point, that's his understanding, is that you guys are just looking to get out that way. He offered this place kind of up as a, and he's called it a shrine. It's a small temple. It's basically what he would describe it as, that he believes saved his life. But it would be big enough for us to all camp in, or camp kind of around. If that would help you all, and he seems to trust you guys enough at this point. So yeah, that's his plan. If there's anything else that needs to happen before any of that, or if there's any amendments to that plan, let me know. Otherwise, he'll lead the way. All right. So
Sounds good.
he leads you through town, and as we've seen, the town is kind of a wheel and spoke situation, and the hub is essentially the middle of town where the Steaming Coney is, the largest. The largest tavern in town, the biggest inn, the place where people wanted to be was the Steaming Coney. So everything kind of spokes out from that main square. And you guys came from the south and are now heading north. And very similarly to the journey into town, like more densely packed in the center, and it slowly gets sparser and sparser, and things start to kind of like widen out. You get these kind of wide areas of greenery and some small fields. And in the distance, you can see there's some larger fields leading into the foothills. And to the north, kind of ever looming, ever present, are the Shadowset Mountains. And these kind of foothills covered in trees are basically where you're headed, at the base of the Shadowsets. But he'll kind of jog off the path, maybe direct out of town, and tell you what he's doing and where he's taking you. The whole while, like, kind of like excitingly, like, oh, this is blah blah blah, this is that, this was that. Nothing of like utmost importance, but eventually he will lead you to a like fairly sizable plot of land that is an overgrown field that was some sort of like mixture of like crops, small family farm, nothing like massive, but decent size to the ones like that you've seen at this point of your journey to the north. And there is like a small farmhouse in a similar style, probably to the thing on the right that you see there, sitting upon the land. And it nothing looks. It's only been 6 months since the burning. Nothing looks insanely like decrepit or anything like that, but you can just tell like it's not. It's not being tended to daily, you know, like, and it's fairly overgrown. And as you kind of step up, there's kind of like a wooden fence, and the gate's just kind of swinging open. But Lucas, this was it. This was where the Bramblebums in town stayed. It was. I don't remember who all was here at the end of the year, but this was the family farm, and he just kind of like showing you. And I haven't really been by much. I haven't gotten to this point in my my journey through town. I'm kind of collecting what can be useful and trying to salvage what I can. So I'm not sure what all may be around. But if there's anything you'd like to do, I understand that we can.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right with everybody. I just want to go and pay my respects real quick. Always meant to make it out here, but you know, visiting Gramps was never very high on my list of priorities. It's so far away from Starrowtown, after all. Just bear with me for 1 minute, and he's gonna go into the house to just kind of look around and pay his respects to his departed ancestors.
Yeah, as you start like walking up to the door, like Carwin will like look to you like. He doesn't want to pry, but he also is like he'll join you if you wish, but if not, he gets it, and he's kind of giving you that like.
Yeah, he's more than he's not hiding anything, you know, just going on a little side trip here.
Well, so yeah, you guys kind of like walk down the grass, and Carwin will follow. Poppy will stay back at the fence with the group or whatever.
And for our subscribers, because I totally understand all this time stuff, but our subscribers may not. Lucas thinks he is paying homage to ancestors, but do we know, was Lucas well before the people that he's thinking, or before him, or do we not know that about Lucas, like his exact time frame of when he was around?
So I think when you first encountered Carwin and you spoke of these people, Carwin said that Grandpa, the guy that he knew, and some others of these family members had had passed in the war. To which Lucas was like, "What?" Didn't really know. Played it off that Lucas was drunk, which true Lucas was. So there was some conversation about that, and Carwin was kind of brushed off a little bit, like, "Hey, like, chill. He's having a hard time, whatever." But Lucas, this is what Lucas.
I was just looking to
existed
see.
pre-story.
Usually
Pre-thinking
I
of
have
Sword.
dates. Usually I have dates in my stuff, but I actually don't have a date for Lucas.
Because the party picked up Lucas after you exited the Sphere of Doom. That's when Lucas was scooped in Krazik, which was approximately 50 years. I don't have the exact timeline date, but it was approximately 50 years prior.
Isn't that also a different timeline?
I don't know if that was ever confirmed. Perhaps. Maybe.
Who dies in that one?
Yeah, I think that may have been the timeline. Yeah, so it's a little complex for Lucas. He, the people that he thinks he's giving respect to would probably be people that existed after, that he doesn't realize. Like, it's his grandpa's house, but grandpa's long dead, and so are grandpa's kids, and anyone that Lucas knew. So like this home is a family home, sure, but the family here existed after Lucas's time.
But he as
By
a
many
man does
years.
not realize this dynamic that he's in.
I don't think so.
No. And Lucas wouldn't know what the burning is either.
Yeah.
No one's had the heart so far.
But yeah, Lucas still doesn't know that the Star Attempt sunk.
And he's just assuming
Not
from
sure
what he's
if-
picking up that there was some kind of war that happened in the general area, but he doesn't quite, from the lack of people and what Carwin is saying, but he doesn't have a full understanding of what's going on.
Yeah. It's fun stuff. So yeah, we kind of watch them walk up to the door, and Lucas goes inside. Is that the plan?
Yep.
Okay. First thing that happens is Lucas and everyone watching on. There's a very brilliant flash of purple light as this arcane symbol appears on the aged wooden surface of the door. Lucas, you are immediately certain you've never seen that symbol before, but somehow you immediately know what it says. It's a name. And I need you and Carwin, because he's with you, to make a dexterity saving throw.
It's not good.
Open your character sheet.
Welcome to the mind of Bramble.
Hold on. I do give you something for that. Aura of
Or protection.
Carwin's
Aura of
aura.
protection. You get a +4.
Give you something.
You get a
Ooh.
+4 for being within 10 feet of me.
So that's an 18. That's a good roll.
That's an 18. Mine is almost as good, because I also get the benefit of my own aura, which is cool. You all see this kind of like flash as he reaches on the door. Does anyone speak Draconic?
Hal does as well.
It's a proper like name. When you like this sigil, so like sounding it out, it reads Nithkai. I can put that in the chat. Looks like that. Oh, that was all caps. Sorry, I have to deal with it. Caps lock is on.
The sigil is yelling at us.
Yeah. It was all caps. 5d8s of force damage. Damn!
Oh.
We will take 36 points of force damage because we failed the save. And we're thrown back 10 feet in this massive explosion. Wow. 66888. That is... Ouchie. Wow. Lucas, after you're kind of flung back and you like slowly start to stand up, you all see that the door has been kind of blown inward from the blast. And Lucas, you can see inside, and everyone else probably has a decent visual as well. Just feel like some different vibes happening. That feels better. So as the door is kind of flung inward, Lucas and anyone else that can kind of see inside from your vantage points, maybe 30, 45 feet away, you see this impossible scene taking place inside the house. There, beyond the door, is just a vast and empty landscape. Kind of looks like a stormy sky. And then you realize that you can see in that kind of stormy gray sky, you can see silhouettes you recognize immediately, Lucas. Silhouettes of Storotown. You can see the silhouette of the city. Distant. And then rising above it is a massive tidal wave that smashes down across the city. And as it does, it leaves like nothing. The sky kind of stays this kind of gray, and you can slowly watch it fade away, and you can start to see the walls of the home behind it. You can see like, oh, there's a grandfather clock, there's a end table, you know. Start to see the room start to take shape, but the water remains. The water is still there, impossibly just in this house, this dark gray kind of murky water. And it's just slowly draining. A lot of it is coming out of the front door, just coming down into the grass, down the stones of the door, just kind of like gushing out. And you just assume the rest of it's like going into the woodwork beneath. And as it's draining in your grandfather's home, everything soaking wet, you can kind of see like a few chairs, like cushions just stopping soaking wet as the house kind of becomes, the interior of the home becomes visible in your vision. There are other things that shouldn't be in there though. Along with the furniture pieces, you see this kind of like large cracked piece of wood that just looks like it's been submerged in water for ages. There are barnacles on it. On the side, there's this kind of like flapping in the no wind that should be inside there. This torn cloth sail. It's just kind of like flapping in the wind as the water is draining. And then you see a body lying reclined in some sand. And the water that's kind of draining out of the house is kind of like lapping at their waists, kind of like at a shoreline. And it's a half orc with an ornate spear, golden, jutting out of its chest. Instinctively, you look down to your hand, and you're not holding the spear. And the moment you look back up to see Uz, he's gone. The room is dry. All of the pieces of shipwreck that you saw in there are gone. It is a room. Haphazard. Things are kind of strewn about, almost as if someone had come there and searched through the place or something. But it's all soaking wet still. The water has now drained fully out. What do you do? Everyone saw these things. Everyone sees that it's soaking wet.
I do a history check on Nithkai.
You can.
That's the same.
Certainly try.
As is draconic, right?
Yep. Draconic. It doesn't ring any bells to either of you. But you recognize it as a proper name. Sir Carwin is having a real hard time getting up in his plate now. Oh God.
Lucas, I think, partially, disturbed by the images that he saw, and partially disturbed by the force damage, and partially from his inebriated state, turns over and retches.
Hot liquid exiting your throat onto the ground. Smell of strong wine and whiskey, probably. And the beautiful eggs that Carlin made this morning.
Did we all see the spear incident or just the Star Town piece of that?
You probably saw the whole thing. You might not have noticed the fact that the spear ever left Lucas's hand. But Lucas, from your perspective, that spear was not in your hands. It is now. It's back. But I don't know that anyone else would have seen that piece of information. You would have probably seen that there was a spear inside the half orc laying in the surf.
Lucas will he'll stand back up and look around and kind of you can tell that he's shaken. But he'll say, "Wow, I guess my ancestors must have gotten somebody's bad graces. That was weird, huh?" I'll kind of look around.
How much does Al about
I mean-
what happened in this timeline?
I suspect much. I think you were
Okay.
probably filled in on what's going
Filled
on.
in with a lot.
Yeah, you've been traveling with them for long enough.
You're about to say something, Preston.
I was just gonna walk up and, well, I mean, at least I guess we know how Storo Town sunk.
And you see Lucas kind of just side eye you a little bit. And he'll kind of say to no one in particular under his breath, "So that's what happened."
As Carmen kind of picks himself up and like, I've not had this happen at any other homes in the region. I didn't catch all the imagery inside. Sort of like a turtle on my back there.
Carwin, I have a feeling that this was a special occasion.
Yes, so many special occasions thus far with your group. I hope they
Yeah,
don't keep happening.
I wouldn't get too comfortable if you're traveling with us, I suppose.
And he'll do a thing that he's done before, and you kind of just see him like grip his necklace, and there's this just like kind of like subtle wave of energy that rings out as he does be familiar with divine sense. Just and he kind of just like looks around and almost like sniffing at the air a little bit.
Nathaniel also grew up like where he saw Carwin, even though he doesn't have a necklace, just thinking that's what followers of Botilla do. And like gives him a nod, like, yeah, we're in solidarity. But of course nothing happens. He's very new at this.
Lucas, do you, have you or your family had any run-ins with anyone that would deal with draconic beings?
Draconic. No, not that I can think of, at least. Would would love to take one down though one day. That'd be a great adventure for sure.
Wouldn't
That
put
spear.
it past us.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. What about the spear?
No, say that again.
Said I wouldn't put it past us to have a run-in with a primordial.
Primordial. What's that?
They're beings that more or less oppose the gods, I suppose you could say. Long time ago. And it was just a matter of primordials fought the gods fought primordials. Eventually, some way, somehow, fighting stopped. Although in, I guess, more recent history, the Primordials invaded the Veil, at least in the proper timeline. And the reason the gods, in theory, don't exist anymore is because they sacrificed themselves to wipe the Primordials off of the, I guess, off the surface of the planet. Or at least that's what we think they were trying to do. It's what the burning was.
I see. I could tell that there was something wrong, but I appreciate you being honest with me about the stakes. I just heard universe-saving adventure and jumped. Probably would have been good to
I mean,
understand a little bit better.
the adventure still stands. Universe saving notwithstanding.
True. True. You know what, Lagandu? When you're right, you're right. You can tell that Lucas is like trying to kind of get back to his normal self.
Yeah, at least I didn't have to explain that one 7 times.
Lucas, was that
So
vision
what, Lucas?
true? Did you fight that orc before the fall of Startown? Was that a remnant of your?
I don't know much about the fall of Starrowtown. In fact, I was only kind of picking up bits and pieces that it no longer existed. But the vision that you saw is true, but your understanding of the events is not. That is exactly how I found the spear. Embedded in my friend and mentor, Ooze the Unchained. Of course, you know him as leader of the Immortal Barracuda, the founder, actually. It's the only clue I have to who killed him. But in the meantime, it appears to be bounded to me.
Have you ever had someone look at the spear, like a magic person, if it is a clue?
We of course have magic users within the guild. None could really tell much about it, other than, of course, the fact that it is cursed.
Has anyone ever tried to remove the curse?
Yes. Unsuccessfully.
I see. It is something I am capable of. I'm sure I'm not the most powerful of well, I'm sure you've known more powerful priests in your day.
I appreciate the offer, Sir Carwin. I would not wish what happened to those that tried on you. Quite a painful experience.
See. Well, I don't sense anything around that may be lying in ambush of us, though I'm not the best at finding traps. So if it is still of your... If you still mean to go inside, it is at least safe from a fiend's undead or celestial standpoint. What
You
kind of
know,
place are you?
the mood's been soured slightly. I may just take one brief look. And he will head back toward the house. His goal just trying to maybe understand a little bit better about, actually less about what is, what he was hoping to do in there, and more about trying to gather any information about what the hell just happened with this bomb to a door.
I will follow up behind Lucas, kind of making sure he doesn't set off any other traps, looking for him himself. And while he's up there with them, he'll ask him if the name Nithkai means anything.
Lucas will kind of look around a little bit, and he'll kind of lean in close to you, and he'll go, Al, you always seem like a trustworthy fellow.
Try to inspire as much.
I can only tell you that I know that is the name of whatever it is that talks to me through the spear.
Spear talks to you.
Well, it's more accurate to say tries nowadays. Seems like alcohol really inhibits its ability to try.
Why you drink?
I mean, booze itself is gift enough, I suppose. But doesn't hurt to numb the voice.
I mean, you. Known many that have tried to do the same. You recall anything that has been said to you in the past by the spear, by Nithkai?
Really only one word. Return.
No place? No owner?
Haven't listened long enough to know what that means.
Maybe you're wise to not listen to the dark voices and cursed weapons.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it.
I am quite curious, though. Do you know any reason why your family estate would be sealed?
No, none that I can think of.
If you're willing, I'll try and help you find a way in.
No, that'd be great. I'd love to understand a little bit more about what exactly happened here.
I will nod and then start trying to look for places along the outside of the house that maybe aren't affected by the seal. But
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the door is wide open right now.
oh, okay, I must have missed
It's
that
been
point.
the door's been blown open. That the thing that you get the best it probably acted as a glyph of warding, something similar to that. So like some kind of like trap trigger of the door.
You'll check
Like-
for any other traps inside the house then.
Yeah, make a actually, yeah, investigation or perception, either is fine. As you guys are kind of standing up there on the porch. Yeah, so you do see something out of the ordinary. So the inside of the house is kind of like there's stuff strewn everywhere in there, and a lot of it is still wet, or at least damp. But through all the out of place stuff, all the garbage kind of across the floor, one thing catches your attention. And I think you would be able to kind of note its positioning is kind of likely the same spot where you saw the half-orc lying on the ground in the vision. There is a symbol, the same symbol that was on the door, on the ground, and it appears to be written in blood.
He'll just point that out to Lucas so he can avoid it. But
Lucas, as your eyes cross over, and you see it, you hear a voice, and there's something about it that you can feel is different. It feels almost a little stronger than it has in the past. You've been able to dull it out for a long time. But I think there's something about seeing this, something about everything that's just happened, that you can sense a change. As your eyes kind of cross over that bloody symbol of Nithkai, you just hear, oh, there you are. I see you. And then the blood just kind of melts away, vanishes.
Lucas kind of holds his head, but he does not say anything out loud.
And Allie, you see the blood disappear.
know enough about arcane powers to an inkling of an idea of what just happened here. But I doubt it was good.
If only Stephen didn't have diarrhea. I'm okay, guys. From a very distant field where he's doing his own thing.
To be honest with you, Owl, I'm unsure if any amount of arcane knowledge can explain what we've seen here. But I do get an uneasy feeling. May have triggered something. And not just the bomb at the front door.
And deeper.
Yeah, you can both make Arcana checks or Insight checks, maybe.
Big difference in modifier for me. And I still roll terribly.
Dice don't lie.
Dice don't lie.
Those are both solid. Yeah, you don't necessarily know what it was that happened, but I think Lucas, with a little bit more actual insight into the situation, with hearing that voice, as much as the glyph that immediately struck you was obviously like violent, could have also just been an alarm.
He'll relay that to Owl. Perhaps this was an alarm.
Not like alarm spell, the spell, but like a letting someone know that someone was here.
Right, yeah. One had a keen interest in this place. I'll start looking around. Before he does, if you don't mind, Lucas, I would like to take a look around.
No, of course. By all means. Seems like these are long dead ancestors of mine. You can tell that he's really trying his best to comprehend exactly what the situation is.
Very strong, Lucas. And I will start creeping around the house.
Yeah, how long do you want to spend in the house? Like, do you want to like sit
Until
as much time
someone
as
starts
possible?
getting, bored outside or something, or I will just keep going until somebody probably tells, like, hey, should we? So you feel satisfied, or until somebody's like, hey, we got a timetable.
I will tell you that Lucas will probably walk out of the house and let you know that he's leaving the house after about 15 minutes.
Yeah. So let's just say at 20 to 30 minutes pass. And that, I mean, taking 20 essentially on a check there. You don't turn up anything. Nothing out of the ordinary. It is a normal as you can find home. You know where to look, Al. Like you know where secrets hide, and you find mundane secrets. You find like stuff that the kids were trying to hide from their parents. Like you find that in no time, right? Like, but there is nothing here as far as you're concerned. You're satisfied to the point that like there's nothing here.
Arwen ever say he had tried to come in here before?
He said no,
Okay.
that he had not gotten out like to this point. He's kind of started closer to the Coney.
Don't
As far
know.
as like clearing out homes and stuff.
Don't know if it was set up to trigger for anyone, or for specifically maybe someone of Lucas's family.
Yeah, Lucas was the one who triggered it, but you also don't know if it would have triggered for anyone else.
Saying that to keep it in mind.
Mm-hmm. For the record.
For the record. I will come out. Tell Lucas did not find anything extra special that would give any more insight. I'm sorry, but we only have questions for now. No answers.
Well, that's okay. That's kind of been the case ever since I found Ooze laying there by the sea that day. Closest hint I ever got was stupid UNT temple, and saw how that turned out. But, the only thing I can't figure still having a hard time wrapping my head around what time we're in and what that means.
Oh, I'm sure Stephen and I and the others can explain a little bit more at next time we find a rest.
Of course.
It's
But-
a bit much.
What would lead Neithkai to believe that I'd be here?
It was you, if it is a he even. Perhaps you would come back one day.
Perhaps he would tell you that gender of disembodied spear voices are hard to tell, but that he did always he always thought it was the voice of a woman.
We can ponder this on our way to our next stop.
Yes, to the temple with haste, right,
Yes.
Sir Carwin, and he'll like tap him on the back, you know.
Yeah, Carwin is like, motherfuckers. This is a lot. But the good news is, those of you traveling within 10 feet of him, you guys get to move an extra 10 feet on your turn, so. Because of his aura. Peerless athletes. So, yeah, that's fun. But yeah, after that, Carwin will happily take you to the temple where he thinks we all need to be cleansed. You could get some different music. Let's go back to the Kindle the Soul, because my goodness. Some dark shit going on. Dark shit going on in Brandy. The heck? Okay, yeah, so leaving, taking you guys north of town. You'll head through some more overgrown fields, and eventually onto kind of this like well-worn dirt trail into the foothills of the Shadowset Mountains. The path is kind of like a winding, gentle incline, which starts in sparse tree-covered ground before entering into thicker wood and like harsher switchbacks and inclines. Kind of gets less and less of a like well-trodden trail and more of like a hiking trail. And on your way there, Carwin would kind of let you know this is the way to the closest of the Furbolg encampments that kind of is nearest. Though they don't exist anymore, they did pre-burning. Little Furbolg camps. Takes about a half day on these hiking trails until you would arrive at this kind of fairly sheer cliff face of like a almost like you're at the bottom of kind of like a ravine-ish area. And there is a cave entrance into the side of this kind of rocky exposed cliff. The mouth fairly well covered by hanging vegetation. I don't really have a page to keep us on, so I guess we're hanging out here. Brandy vibes. And Carwin will tell you like this is the spot, and lead you in the cave entrance, which is a pretty tight tunnel for those of you that are larger than halflings, but it kind of quickly opens up into a roomier space. 20 feet at full height, and is illuminated by this large, probably about 10-foot long crack in the ceiling. 3 to 4 feet wide at its widest point. The light kind of streaming through. Chambers no more than 20 foot in diameter. And it's pretty apparent that this is one of Carwin's spots. There are wooden crates organized atop what appears to be kind of the short stone bench that's carved into the wall. There's a small cook fire and stew pot, currently out, but set up beneath the ceiling crack. Bedroll kind of neatly made up near some of the crates. And nearest to the entrance that you kind of just would have came through, there is an alcove in the wall that is carved very clearly by a master stoneworker some time ago. Inside the alcove is, which is carved at its lower, presumably halfling height, are a bunch of candles, many of them spent, partially burned, standing kind of before this stone bust, the kind of upper half of a woman with this like thick, long, curly-haired head of hair, and she is cradling a decorative urn to her chest, almost like she's cradling a baby, but it's an urn. And her eyes are 2 coins. Above her is this very classically carved looking banner or ribbon that has script written in it that says, "Dare much and the lady keep you." And as Carvin kind of shows you into this space, I'll point up to the crack in the ceiling. I was up there, the path that we split off from a little ways ago. It leads up there. I was traveling it, and when the sky lit up, and didn't know this place was below my feet. I was lucky that I ran from the flames and fell into this place. He kind of looks over to the small altar. Seems it was my good fortune that I fell through that crack. Seems it was the cover of this small cavern that saved me from the fire fell from the sky. I awoke down here, a lump in my head, staring at the blue skies above through that crack in the ceiling. And he'll kind of start like getting some stuff together, like pulling out some bedrolls and please make yourselves at home. I know it's a small place, but this can be our encampment for the time.
Thank you for your extended hospitality. And then I will also turn towards the altar and kind of, I guess, pay respects. Botilla. Entering into her house.
Nathaniel, too, upon, like, he wouldn't have even recognized, he might have recognized who that was because of the urn, but, like, upon confirmation, would have kneeled and would have grabbed at his necklace again, because that's what he does. And now, because it's the only holy words, like, that he's come across. Was it dare greatly and the lady keep you? Was that it?
They're very close. Something like that. Scan through all. Dare much and the lady keep you.
Like that. That is now like his entire Bible. That's all he's got. And would probably rattle on about the symbology of the heavens being open because of the hole, and the bench giving us rest from and respite from our, and all these things, and the candles giving us light into ourselves, and all these thinks they're completely wrong, but he's excited to learn at least something new.
Can I have all of you that are in the room roll flat d20 zonies? Or actually, because it's fun, percentage d1 hundo. Or the little percentage guy in the bottom.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh.
Cool. Cool. Don't mind me. Don't mind me.
Nathaniel feels like he won that role. He's been chosen.
Doesn't even know. Doesn't even know he rolled.
Can't even use the lucky feet with the 2.
Good call. Michael side.
What do you guys do?
Sure, after a time, kind of getting set up in here, Al would ask Steven to use the wand of secrets. While he himself kind of is scoping out the whole cave, see if he notices anything.
Yeah, Steven can use a charge on the wand, and it does not reveal any secrets.
Nathaniel would ask Carwin, are we allowed to touch the likeness, or is that not for humans, or is it not for anyone?
Oh, certainly, if you wish to inspect or do what you will, just obviously take utmost care.
Yeah, he would just like lay a hand on it and be solemn, and then it's probably not much because of his path to get to this point, but would like put every coin he had down there in front.
You can certainly put a bunch of coins in there.
Is there any other like religious iconography or text in the room? And I would ask Carwin this as well if they had anything like that here.
He would kind of point to the main thing. Roll an insight check.
Okay.
He says no, and he points to that.
It's the main altar.
Yeah. He's lying to you. You can straight up tell he's not a good liar.
Will take a step closer just to make the size difference more noticeable between the two, and lean in. It is not good to lie to me.
No, I wouldn't think that it was. But there is none. There is. He won't make eye contact with you. There is none other. This is the only altar here.
We are not enemies of Botilla.
No, I know.
We are here trying to do this world right. I'm sure you've heard Lucas say several times there's a world ending, world saving sort of thing.
Yes.
It would benefit us all if
if you told us anything you knew, anything at all.
Yes, of course. I only mean to help. There was once another. I, the room, but it is long gone. I'm afraid I have offended the goddess. And he kind of like hurriedly walks out the front, like to like the outer area, kind of in a huff.
Al will just follow behind, probably much quicker than he would expect. One does not simply end a conversation with "I offended a goddess once."
I know. You can tell he's really distraught. And he just kind of like wants to like stand out in the air, and he's like got his little hand up on the wall, and he's just like, you can tell he's very upset. And those of you who are like inside, I don't know if you caught part of that conversation, whatever. Like you see those two. Kind of like, so. I don't know what I did. But there was another room. But it is not shown itself back to me.
What was this other room like?
It was beautiful. Stairs leading up to a larger room with a domed ceiling illuminated with golden light.
Why do you think you offended your goddess?
I don't know. As I say, I was changed. I'm for the better since being there.
So you went up into it.
Yes.
What did you experience?
Fortune.
Fortune?
Yes, I am bathed in her light.
You still feel this way?
Yes.
I doubt you offended her.
Perhaps not. But why can I not go back?
You were simply meant to only go there once. Can you show us where this room would have been?
Yes. And he'll walk back in. It seems like you've kind of calmed him down a bit. And he walks to the wall kind of opposing the entrance. Just like it looks regular, craggy wall. He'll like put his hand upon it. It was here.
Well, he knows he's kind of already looked through the room and he's asked Stephen already to do the Wand of Secrets, but he will double check over, see if he notices anything new. Since Harwin pointed this out.
Yeah, Al, if you kind of like go up to the wall, touch it, inspect it, like look for seams, look for anything, like it looks as convincingly like the inside of a cave wall as any. You see no signs of any secret.
If you don't mind, I would like to share this with everyone.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry for keeping it from you.
Worries. You have been out here for months by yourself. Paranoia is acceptable and expected.
I will That will be out front. I will start the soup. It gets foggy in here, even with the crack. It will be good for my head to be outside. I'm sorry, I'm not one for lying. He'll still like kind of start setting up a quick fire outside. You can hear him like tingling around out there. He's not a quiet guy. This small halfling in plate armor.
Well, I'll just thank him as he leaves for being open and honest. And he'll get the party's attention and bring up. So we need to figure out how to open this wall up. Believe what we're looking for. Probably through here.
Do you mean to tell me this place is even more glorious than this? As he looks around the small, dingy.
If we are to trust our halfling friend, yes. And I do trust him. He might, Al would probably try and pick Steven's brain about how they came across Empress before and what, the challenge is. So.
Steven uses all his spell slots. Crazy.
Yes, burn everything. Get this thing open.
Hearing all that, do we suspect that Corwin took the Ember?
Good point. There's not a way for us to tell that, though.
If only Isabel were here.
Yeah, if only it's...
Regardless, upon hearing this, Nathaniel would sprint off to help. Sprint off, I don't know, was he 15 feet away? But he would sprint off to Corwin to ask him to outline to him in detail every small thing about the time that he was granted access. Like, what was he wearing? What was he doing? Was it nighttime? Was it daytime? Like, just so eager to get into this place.
Yeah, he'll tell you it was when he woke up. Like, that was just after the burning. That was just a part of the room. There was a passage that led that direction, like kind of an arched passageway, like built in the stone, and a stairway going up.
And then what was the last things that he did before he no longer had access? Like, did he just wake up one day and it was like that, or did he touch?
Yeah, he came down. He came downstairs, and was resting, and the next morning it was gone. The room was filled with a bunch of urns along the walls, and it had kind of benches in the center where the staircase kind of came up through the middle of the room. There were carvings all over the walls, and the ceiling was kind of this dimpled golden ceiling, and there was just always this kind of golden light, and just felt incredible. And he kind of just yearns to be able to be back in that space.
How tall is the ceiling? The hole in the ceiling?
Oh, it's 20 feet up.
How long would it take Nathaniel to get there?
Going around?
Yeah.
20, 30 minutes maybe. Safely on the path. If you want to climb up, it'd probably take shorter.
He's going to climb up.
Okay, make an athletics check.
He doesn't have to.
Damn it!
Oh.
Damn it, you 20th level characters. You can climb up the cliff.
You see Nathaniel, and he kind of looks over, and he's like, I learned some things inside that dastardly place as well. And you see him just walk right up. and you get the same vibe you got when Clavius was hanging from that chandelier, that he is. There's no chance he's going to fall. He's just like horizontal with the ground, just walks right up. And then he promptly falls through the crack and tries to recreate what Corwin did, taking the full brunt of fall damage.
As Owl and Steven are like conversing, going over ways, like, okay, what could this possibly be? Like going through their Rolodex of arcane knowledge and secrets. Nathaniel falls through the crack. Slams into the ground. What is that, 2d6? Something like that. 20 feet. 3 points bludge.
Oh.
You're fine. Yeah, and he just hits the ground in the middle of your conversation. Nathaniel, you see some stuff. Opposing the entrance to the chamber, Nathaniel, you see not a cave wall, but an arched threshold that continues on as a worked stone tunnel. And at the end of that tunnel, you see a spiral staircase going up about 20 feet down this kind of tunnel. No one else sees this.
First of all, holy shit, I cannot believe that worked.
Really?
He grasped his necklace that was not there and says, "Come on, guys, we did it!" and runs, hopefully not face first into a wall, runs into the place.
You watch as he phases through the wall in front of you. It is hard as a rock. As Al kind of reaches out, as Al reaches out and touches it.
It was
Now,
the oddest thing I've seen in a while.
It is. It is what I must do. And that is to ask everyone but Will to please remove their headphones and give me maybe about 10 minutes, is my guess.
Yes.
I will wave dramatically. I trust y'all. You do what you gotta do.
Say something, chat.
I will, yeah, I'll wave dramatically. I'll post something.
Wait, can we,
when you come back.
Can't we go? Isn't there a break? Yeah, can we go in the asides? Let's go in the asides.
Oh, is
Just
there
chill.
a way to go into the asides?
Well, Michael and Will could go into the aside.
Okay. Shall we do that?
Is this
you guys vamp. I'll see if I can get into the asides.
Is
In
this
the
a
El
Camera
Discordo.
Rock listens thing, or
Oh, is that harder?
I can
Bill?
move the Camera Rock into a side?
Yeah, the camera rock should listen as well.
Okay. Let me see. If
Then
I
we
can
might
get
just
first.
we might all just end up in the asides again. But I'll tell you. I'll come back. I'll come back to the general chat in a few minutes. I'm gonna see. Oh, it's working.
Yeah, he went. Yeah, he's in there.
Are you
Yep.
sure?
It should work. It's just a different show.
They gone.
Is it working?
Right, we're in.
Okay, great. This is great.
I love
really
this
excited
stuff.
about the asides. Okay. Nathaniel, you walk through, and then you look, behind you, and there is just dark tunnel, cave wall. You do not see where you just came from. If you were to reach out and touch that wall, it is hard and rocky. You are alone. Before you is a tunnel that goes up a spiral staircase. Assuming it is your prerogative to go up. The circular stair emerges in the center of a 30-foot circular chamber, 40-foot high vaulted ceiling, The domed ceiling is a hammered gold that's reflecting this ambient golden light that seems curiously sourceless. All along the walls are relief carvings, imagery similar to what was found on the bridge of Botilla from a very recent vision that we all saw, where Clavius leaped to his first false death. See halflings in a festive environment, beautiful vases and urns overflowing with piles and piles of coins. You see rolling fields of flowers and fluffy clouds in the skies and soaring songbirds. The room is peaceful, the room is fun, and it is exquisitely constructed. Alcoves in the walls hold large vases, or more likely urns, each beautifully glazed and finished in a myriad of colors, textures, patterns. The smaller of them sit upon stone pedestals, lifting them to a proper viewing height, while others sit on the ground and sit taller than 5 feet on their own, nearly kind of filling those entire alcoves that they sit in. Some are so huge. There are arched benches that are kind of placed around the stairway, forming a makeshift railing, as well as making a place to sit and admire the room. Before you, as you come to the top of the stairs, is one alcove in specific that does not hold an urn. There is just a pedestal with a small silk pouch atop it. What does Nathaniel do?
So I think first of all, he's not the smartest, but he is smart enough to know that like it's probably not going to be too long before he's like right now he feels very privileged that he's the only one in here, and he knows that opportunity to be the only person in this place that is now his spiritual home base, to have that time like with nobody else. It's like the next few seconds or moments are very precious. He would be hesitant to really touch anything. He might like put his hand on something in there. Like maybe you would put your hand at a car show on like the inside of the door handle because you want to touch it, but you don't want to mess it up. And while he's looking at all the symbols and the urns and the things like that, he is looking most of all for some sort of likeness of Botilla, or the focal point of the room, if that does not exist. Is that pouch, is that what that is? Or is that just something that he would notice?
Yeah, I mean, looking throughout the room, it's all pretty, like the decoration and everything is all very much like, there's nothing like standing out amongst anything else. The urns are all different sizes and shapes, and those are all very interesting for sure. But there's no like key point other than the one where there is one alcove with a pedestal, but no urn atop it. That's kind of the outlier of the room, and that is the silk pouch.
And no like loose urns, like, oh, this is obviously an urn that is supposed to go here. I'll just place this where it's supposed to go.
No, yeah, every alcove seems to have an urn inside it, whether it's on a pedestal or just kind of a large urn that's in the alcove itself.
Well, he'll go up there at least to see if he feels like a stronger presence. Still halfway hoping, believing that, oh, I'm going to get a one-on-one encounter with my new patron here. Even though knowing the state of the world, knowing and believing are two different things. I don't think he would. I think he would think opening the pouch or even thinking about opening or taking anything, like that would be a cardinal sin. But he would inspect if there's noticeably something different about that area than the rest of what's going on in that place.
Yeah, as you're kind of like drawn that direction, just kind of looking like why is there no urn here? What's going on in this direction like that? There's this pouch sitting there. It's small. It's I don't know, no bigger than a baseball, but flat. Silk pouch. It is cinched shut and just kind of sitting there. And as you kind of just kind of inspect, you do hear a voice, this kind of cheery female voice that echoes throughout the chamber, sourceless, much like the light. Dare much, and the lady keep you. Will you be bolder than the last? Be bathed in my fortune, and carry forth my grace? Know this. Whatever springs forth from the deck of many may spell your fortune, or may spell your doom. Gamble not, and forsake my fortune forever.
Having already like written the first few words of that into his heart and soul, the only thing he has to think about is, do I think this voice is from Botilla, or is it a fraud? I don't know if that's checkable, because he obviously would never have had an encounter with Botilla before. But just getting, using all of his newly found spiritual strength, does he think that this message, that the origin is true?
You can make an insight check if you wish. I like when they get to see checks in the chat. It's fun. Yeah, you don't have one way or the other.
I mean, he feels like, if he can't figure it out, he feels like he owes his life, that blade being stopped by that breastplate that he was sure is Botilla and not Clavius, or Clavius's, young Clavius is doing. The only thing he knows about this religion is dare much. And so, yeah, he'll do it. What is he suspecting that dare much means? Does it mean opening this pouch?
Okay. Here we go. This is what Nathaniel knows. Before you is a magical deck of cards, known as the Deck of Many Things. This is a legendary item, and these are the rules. As you heard, whatever springs forth from the deck of many may spell your fortune, may spell your doom. You have a choice. You can draw from the deck, or you can not draw from the deck. Either outcome means you will never return to this room again. If you were to draw from the deck, there are further rules. I should also mention, apologies, one urn, basically the moment that this voice rang out, one of the urns in the room shattered. behind you, just a random card.
I see.
There are 21 cards in the deck before you. The rules of the deck that you would just know are you must declare a number of cards that you wish to draw from the deck, and you must draw those cards within an hour of your declaration and deal with whatever fortune or misfortune may find you. Once you draw the cards and deal with whatever it is, then you will leave this room. Or if you choose not to draw, you also just leave this room.
Okay. Oh boy. So first of all, this is perfect that this is Nathaniel just rushing headlong. Newly found. And it's also perfect because I have heard of the deck of many things, but I have no idea what it does. So this is a complete blind. I don't know if the ratio is 50-50 or 20-80.
What I will say is it can be very bad, it can be very good. And there are some middle grounds, but it can be detrimental. And it also can be extremely good.
Does he feel like he could ask the voice a question?
You feel like you have the ability to you don't feel like the voice wants.
Okay. Because he's just wondering how many would Botilla be proud of him for? Like, is just taking one daring much? Or is that coward's way out?
I think the only insight you have into that is, will you be bolder than the last? Be bathed in my fortune and carry forth the grace.
He'll take 3. He'll draw 3 cards.
Okay. Incredible. Feel free to stay in this chat. But please, once another character enters, just mute your mic and say absolutely nothing. But feel free to listen as they do whatever it is they're going to do.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
Says Will
Spoiler
staying over
alert.
there.
Will can come back and forth.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, we revivified Kavan. Sorry, not sorry.
His head was burned, and he is dead. Owl,
Yes.
I think. Seconds after Nathaniel disappeared, mere seconds after you reached out and touched the wall, you see an archway form before you with a long tunnel about 15-20 feet, and at the end of the archway is a spiral staircase that goes up. You don't see anything. No one else in the room sees this.
He will stick his arm through.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if he would. I mean, he looks back to see if, kind of confirm on people's faces if they see what he sees or not.
I think in this moment they sees what makes sense, and they see your hand upon the wall.
Okay. But
though your hand is through it.
You see what I see. You see the door? Looking at Lucas and Lagandu.
I see you touching the wall.
Kind of stands there for a moment. Well then, hopefully I will not be gone long. And he walks through.
Come on over to the aside chat.
Oh boy.
Welcome. Will's not allowed to turn on his microphone, but he is here. So listen. Owl. As you walk through into the tunnel, you look behind you and see that it is just a stone wall, a cave wall, hard cave wall. And before you are stairs going up. And that's the only seeming egress to your current situation. Presuming you go to the stairs and head up, this is what you see. A circular stair emerges in the center of this 30-foot circular chamber. 40-foot vaulted ceilings of hammered gold, reflecting ambient light that is kind of curiously and sourceless, this kind of golden light. All along the walls are relief carvings, imagery similar to what we saw in a vision recently of the bridge of Botilla. See halflings in a festive environment, beautiful faces, urns overflowing with piles and piles of coins. You see rolling fields of flowers, fluffy clouds in the skies, soaring songbirds. The room is peaceful, it is fun, and it is exquisitely constructed. There are a number of alcoves in the walls, all holding vases, more likely urns, each beautifully glazed and finished in a myriad of colors, textures, and patterns. The smaller of them sit upon stone pedestals, lifting them to a proper viewing height, while others are over 5 feet tall, sit on the ground, and just kind of fill the entirety of the alcove. There are arched benches kind of placed around the stairway as a forming like a kind of makeshift railing, but also as a place to kind of just sit and admire the room. You don't see an exit other than the stairs that you just walked up, and you do not see Nathaniel. Before you, as you walk up the stairways across the way, is one alcove with a pedestal upon it. Does not have a vase. Instead, there is a small pouch, silken pouch, just sitting on the urn, or on the pedestal. Pardon. And that is what you see.
First reaction I would have to this whole place is actually a bit of uneasiness. Something he probably doesn't feel often. He holds respect for pretty much all the dawn and dusk gods to some degree or another, but actually like being in this more radiant, joyous setting, he feels quite a bit out of place. And is almost not sure what to do at first. Granted, he is fixed on that out-of-place pouch amongst the urn pedestals. That would definitely catch his attention. And I think he would almost try and kind of block out the rest as he goes towards that.
Yeah, as you step forward towards that pedestal, you can see a bit more clearly that there is a silken pouch that is cinched shut. It's no bigger than a baseball, though it is flat. And it's just kind of sitting there atop the urn. As you're kind of like focusing on it and kind of blocking out the rest. First thing you hear are the shattering of 4 urns throughout the room behind you, just random. And you also hear a voice. Cheery female voice kind of echoing throughout the chamber. Dare much, and the lady keep you. Will you be bolder than the last? Be bathed in my fortune and carry forth my grace? Know this, whatever springs forth from the deck of many may spell your fortune or may spell your doom. Gamble not and forsake my fortune forever.
So, before I choose anything, I may just be talking aloud here, thinking aloud. But what I got from that is that for some reason Nathaniel, the one before me, or at least this is what I was thinking, the one before me, either chose not or chose poorly. It was kind of odd given his most immediate demeanor. Can Al tell what's inside the pouch?
Yes. Al, you know that inside the pouch before you is a deck of many things. A legendary deck of cards that has untold power. You know you have a choice to either draw from the deck or not draw from the deck, either of which will return you to whence you came. You also know that, as was stated, the deck has the propensity to spell your fortune or spell your doom. It's extremely powerful.
There was the bold and all. I think inspired maybe a little bit by World's Clavius and talk of coins and luck earlier. I will pull out a coin. We'll flip it. On 51 and above, you'll pull from the deck.
As I said, I told Will this, I love when there's roles in the chat and people don't know what they are. Yes.
Seeing
94.
the coin come up heads, I will pull. Does he just pull a card from the bag, or does he pull out the deck?
Yeah, so basically you'll make your intent known, how many cards you'd like to pull. You have to make your intent known before you go. So 1 card.
Card.
Okay. Feel free to stay in this chat as I go grab another human and torture them. As I do, if you would just, mute, not show them anything. Thank you very much. I'll be back.
Hello.
Lagandu.
What?
A few moments after Al asks you about touching the wall, and then you watch him walk through it, you are gifted the sight of a tunnel before you. a tunnel that leads to a staircase going up an archway. Lucas cannot see this. Botilla.
Lucas, I don't suppose you just saw the wall disappear in front of you?
Lucas looks up. He's kind of like near the statue, kind of like just sitting down, contemplating everything that's going on. And he looks up and he goes, "Nope, still looks like a wall to me. Where did Owl and Nathaniel go?"
I believe they went through that wall. Although, just a second ago, it looked like a wall to me. And now it looks like there's not a wall there. It actually looks like a hallway. Yeah. I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna, like, put my hand on Lucas's shoulder, thinking maybe if I touch him, he could then see it.
He cannot see it.
He'll like pat your hand on his shoulder, and he'll be like, "I appreciate it, Lagandu. I'm okay though, I promise."
If you say so. Let me go. Should we wait for them?
I mean, if you can see
I
it,
should probably
I
go
think,
find them.
yeah, you should go find him, and I'll be waiting here if you get back, or maybe I'll look up one of these times, and I'll see a hole. Who knows? Either way, we'll meet up over there or meet back here.
Yeah. Seems like it's a possibility, so. Alright. Be back.
Be in the asides chat.
Boy. What was this about? What's the Brazilian guy? Just somebody you work with, or?
Yeah, somebody I work with. His name's Breno, so I was just curious if you played with him or not.
That name does not ring a bell.
Is that? Yeah.
That's criminal, Will.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
All right, crawfish boys.
Crawfish boys?
Don't worry about it. It's an aside chat joke. You'll know soon enough.
Okay, well, I went out. Bye.
Kale, as you pass through the wall, you look behind you and you see not the room that you were previously in, but a paved wall. Reaching out and touching it, it is solid as a rock. Before you is a hallway that leads to a circular stair going up, and it appears to be the only way forward in this room. Seeing that, and assuming you go up the stairs, what you find is a 30-foot circular chamber with 40-foot vaulted ceilings of hammered gold, reflecting ambient and curiously sourceless golden light. Relief carvings cover the walls, imagery similar to what you would find on the bridge of Botilla that you had seen in a vision recently. Mind of Clavius. Halflings, festive environment, beautiful faces and urns overflowing with piles of coins, rolling fields, flowers, fluffy clouds, soaring songbirds during this peaceful, fun, and exquisitely constructed. How many times have I said this now? Alcoves in the wall hold large vases of urns, each beautifully glazed and finished in a myriad of colors, textures, and patterns. The smaller of them sit upon stone pedestals, lifting them to a proper viewing height, while others sit on the ground, sitting almost taller than 5 feet in height on their own, nearly filling the entire alcoves that they sit in. In the center of the room are kind of these arched benches that are placed around the stairway forming a makeshift railing, as well as a place to sit and admire the room. Before you, as you come up the stairs, is one alcove about 15 feet. And that alcove has a pedestal, but unlike all the others, it is missing an urn. Atop the pedestal, instead of an urn, is a small silk pouch, cinched shut. Stop this thing. I forgot I had this. That did.
The missing bag.
What you do, Lagando?
You said that there was another bag
Yeah, there's
that I could see, or was
there's a
Up.
pedestal, one pedestal that has a pouch upon it. The rest of them all have
and one pedestal with a missing
urns. Yeah. No, sorry.
Urns?
They all have urns, and then one has a pouch. It does not have an N.
This Botilla, can I walk up to the pouch and put a coin in it?
Yeah. So you walk up to the pouch and kind of reach out, touch it to open it, to kind of put a coin in it. You hear a cheery female voice that kind of echoes throughout the entirety of the chamber that says, "Dare much, and the lady keep you. Will you be bolder than the last? Be bathed in my fortune? Carry forth my grace? Know this, whatever springs forth from the deck of many may spell your fortune or may spell your doom. Gamble not, and forsake my fortune forever." And as you're placing that coin in, you can feel that inside the pouch is a deck of cards. You also hear the sound of 5 urns shatter somewhere throughout the room behind you.
I will take it forever.
This, you know. Before you, you have a choice. You can draw from the cards, or choose not to draw from the cards. Either way, what you believe is that you'll be able to return to where you came from. Or you can choose to draw from the cards and see what fate has in store. And as the lady said, you know this about the cards. They may spell your fortune, or they certainly may spell your doom. If if you do choose to draw cards, you must let me know how many cards you intend to draw.
Oh, interesting. It's more than one, maybe.
If you choose, you want to draw.
Yeah. I think he would just put the bag back. I don't know. He wouldn't draw a card. He would decline.
Lovely. Why don't we all head back to the other chat, and when we do, just keep your little mute buttons on until I tell you.
Aye, Capitan.
See you in the general chat. Stop talking about crawfish. Just kidding. You can talk about whatever. Hello.
Well, hi
Lucas.
there. Didn't see you there.
Yeah, sorry for leaving you in the dark for so long. Lucas, as you await the return of your compadres, Carwin walks in the room and stabs you. No, just kidding. You too eventually see an arched doorway behind you leading to a tunnel and a spiral staircase leading upwards, where previously there was only a cave wall.
He'll stand up and say to no one in particular, well, guess that means it's my turn. And he'll walk toward the staircase.
As you head that way, if you glance over your shoulder, you'll see that once you pass through that threshold, the archway behind you is but a cave wall again. And going up the stairs for the last time, you emerge in the center of a 30-foot circular chamber with 40-foot high vaulted ceilings of hammered gold reflecting ambient light that, curiously, is sourceless. All along the walls are relief carvings of imagery similar to what would have been found on the bridge of Botilla that you saw in a recent vision. You see halflings in a festive environment, beautiful vases and urns overflowing with piles and piles of coins. You see rolling fields of flowers, fluffy clouds, skies with soaring songbirds. You see that this room is peaceful, it is fun, and it is exquisitely constructed. There are alcoves along the walls, holding large urns, each beautifully glazed and finished in a myriad of colors, textures, and patterns. The smaller of them sit upon stone pedestals, lifting them to a proper viewing height, while others are large enough to sit on the floor and reach above 5 feet tall on their own, nearly filling the entirety of the alcoves that they sit in. There are arched benches placed around the stairway, kind of forming a makeshift railing, as well as a place to sit and admire the room. And as you emerge from the center stair, before you in the alcove, directly in front of you, is a pedestal with no urn atop it. It is the only one that appears to have a small velvet pouch sitting atop the urn, or atop the pedestal. Second time I've done anything, I would have got it right after doing it that many times. That is what you see.
He'll go up to the pedestal and pick up the bag.
As you scoop the bag, you hear the sound of 5 urns behind you chatter. You also hear the voice of a cheery female fill the room. Echoing through the chamber, you hear, dare much, and the lady keep you. Will you be bolder than the last? Be bathed in my fortune, carry forth my grace? Know this, whatever springs forth from the deck of many may spell your fortune or may spell your doom. Gamble not, and forsake my fortune forever. And as you're holding that pouch, you can feel that inside very clearly a deck.
Hmm.
And I tell you what I tell the others. You hold in your hand a legendary deck of many. And much like the lady said, you know that this deck, the outcomes of this deck may spell your fortune or your doom. And you have a choice. You can draw from the deck or not draw from the deck. Either way, you expect that you would be able to return to where you came.
Oh, I mean, Lucas would draw from the deck for sure.
If drawing from the deck is your prerogative, you will just need to tell me how many cards you intend to draw from the deck of many things.
How big is the deck?
You can feel it is 17 cards.
You will draw 3 cards. I don't like the smirk on your face.
Okay. And we're back. We're now in the metagame. The game within the game. Welcome, my friends.
Hey, I don't know how you saw my face when my camera was off.
Did everyone have the same smirk?
I wanted him to say I pick all 17 cards. That's what I wanted. I take the whole deck.
Okay. So, let's just get some cards on the table. Deck of Many Things, as I said, is legendary. It's been in D&D for a long time. And the Shrine of Botilla has been planned for a long time as well. If you search the Deck of Many Things, which I really hope you won't, you'll find forums and forums about how it's ruined people's campaign. But this is where it needed to be. And let me just straight up say I wrestled with how I wanted to do this. There were multiple ways I could plan this, but I knew this was basically the skeleton for a while. And I'm really happy that it was this way. You may be wondering, Marshall's not here. Steven, blah, blah, blah. Steven never would have been able to enter this chamber. We'll figure out why at some other time, perhaps. So that's okay. It is.
I know why.
10:40. It is 10:40, and there's one part of me that wants to draw some cards, and one part of me that wants to wait till next week. But I also it's like a juggling act. I'm like, man, I don't want them to look up the deck of many things. Or I know Croft probably knows the deck of many things pretty well, but he doesn't. Maybe
Remember a
hasn't
couple.
refreshed himself. Yeah.
I have not. I've never been in a campaign that's been drawn or used. So I only vaguely know of it.
So I ask you this: do you, whatever happens, the fallout? I mean, I'm gonna need time to maybe figure out the fallout, so it'd probably be better to draw right now. And I wanted to draw as a group.
I mean,
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a yes.
Yeah.
And let's just say some shit could happen. That's it. I mean, nothing else I can say. Nathaniel, we are starting with you. To draw a card, I think I'm going to have you roll I think we can roll a d22, I believe.
I think you can just type in /roll.
Slash
D
R.
/roll
D22.
/R. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll have you do D22. And I'll have everyone drawing D22s because that's how I have the shuffle set.
Here we go.
So
Did I pick too many? Did I pick the most?
First roll 1 D22 for Bill. A 13. Okay. Mother of God.
lucky number.
Lucky number 13.
Oh no.
Okay. Okay. Interesting start. Unreal. Guess we're gonna have to run that next week.
What?
Run that like I'm gonna fight.
Nathaniel, you draw the skull card. Upon it is a skeletal figure, and you summon an avatar of death. A ghostly humanoid, clad in tattered black robes and carrying a spectral sight, appears before you, Nathaniel. And it attacks. It fights until you die, or until it drops to 0 hit points. So Nathaniel starts by drawing the skull and fighting death.
All right. Can't wait to see the others.
Great. That will need to be run before you can draw any other cards. But I'll have you roll them so that I know what other people can't roll in the instance.
Oh no, that's I did it wrong.
Oh, you just rolled a 22
rolled
straight
a
up.
22.
You picked a 22. Great choice. 5. Okay, great. Great.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the
You're good. I'm
roller.
a 5, and what's the other one for you?
DF.
A 9.
Okay. Great. Where Oh, roll again.
Oh. Was that just a do-over?
Who's to say? Roll again. 18. Okay, great. Guys, this is the most wild shit. Okay, before we get to Nathaniel's other cards, because who's to say he might die? He is fighting death itself. Owl. A D22, if you please. A do-over. That card is no longer in the deck.
Two.
Guys. Owl. You draw the idiot.
No, it's a bad card.
I need you to roll 1d4.
4.
Hope you're not an in character.
Your intelligence reduces by 5.
Well,
Mine just aged like 50 years.
And you can draw one additional card beyond your declared draws.
Sure. I have less wherewithal
Just
now.
my luck could go.
and all your other characters lose 5 hand points too, including Clint.
Well, he can't get much worse in that department.
That was the maximum amount of intelligence loss.
Is the 9 already rolled? Yeah, that was the thing you made me roll, right?
I believe 9. Yep, 9's already been rolled. 15. Stays in deck. Let's- You level. And you can draw 2 additional cards beyond your declared draw.
Is it up to 2 or it like has to be
It
2?
is 2. And as you draw that card, it goes back.
That's this strangely addictive. Yeah. He's got a mind of 7 now.
All right, so that will put you what at 4 cards? Total,
Yeah.
possibly.
I'm looking forward to you guys not like. I'm just not gonna have any cards to draw.
Thinning the deck for you.
All right, two more cards. First, do one at a time, please.
11.
Oh,
11.
I didn't see it. Sorry. Okay. Croft.
Missing me by me.
Hal has drawn the void.
kind of fitting though.
This black card spells disaster. Your soul is drawn from your body and contained within an object in a place of the DM's choice. One or more powerful beings guard this place. While your soul is trapped in this way, your body is incapacitated. A wish spell can't restore your soul. But the spell reveals the location of the object that holds it. You draw no more cards. For those Critical Role fans in the house, that card came into play in that campaign. Lagandu.
Yeah.
No cards.
0.
Lucas. Your first card, if you please.
I'm so sorry. How do I? What's the command?
Should be /RD22, I think.
Char space D22.
Oh, even if you put extra spaces in there, it won't gather.
Oh no.
A 1. Lucas. The Don John card. You disappear and become entombed in a state of suspended animation in an extra-dimensional sphere. Everything you were wearing and carrying stays behind in the space you occupied when you disappeared. You remain imprisoned until you are found and removed from the sphere. You draw no more cards.
Sorry, are there good cards in this deck?
Yep.
Okay.
Remember when Prof drew one of them?
Yeah.
No, I don't actually.
It was in between the two bad ones.
He did level up. He did level up.
And then lost his soul. So
Didn't have to draw that one. The deck of many things. Me and Will will figure out what happens with the Visage of Death.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick his ass, Seabass.
And then he has 2 more cards coming his way, possibly, unless he dies. Owl and Lucas have vanished from the field of play, are somewhere.
Those bodies still behind, right?
I think one of their bodies is still behind, yeah, and one of them isn't. Soul is drawn from your body, Owl. So Owl's body is there,
Yeah.
and all of Lucas's things are there, if I'm not mistaken.
sounds like Al's just in a heap. Yeah.
It's like Al. This has happened to those characters before, where his body is just laying there. It's terrible. Yeah, everything you were wearing and carrying is in the space that you occupy. We'll talk about. I have some things to discuss with some people. The deck of many things. There you have it.
This deck ruined our campaign.
Take it to the forums.
Oh, what you guys talking about? I leveled.
Yeah. Remember that, because you did level.
If
so
we find you,
wherever
ever,
Al is,
Does this mean the other owl
a
also
wish
levels?
spell only tells us.
it's okay.
Jeez.
Like I said, we got some things to talk about.
Yeah. Well, you guys have fun. Wow.
Lakandu's looking like a genius. A straight up genius.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Look, Andu don't need no. Oh my god.
It's
Lakandu's
incredible,
got
these
his path.
rolls.
Did we just get incredibly unlucky?
I mean, yeah, there's 22 in the deck. You didn't hit great ones. But who knows what Nathaniel got on his other one?
I think it's something
Let's
good. He
choose,
just has to kill
one
death
more.
first.
Just has to kill death.
You want to roll ahead time,
Or-
Michael?
Oh yeah. I mean, might as well, right?
D8.
You know, 5.
It's okay.
How's your intelligence doing?
Not great.
You didn't rely on that though.
Mechanically, not as much.
Just
Uh.
Al knew some. Al was a smart chap.
He was smart. Not Steven or Emmy smart, but he's definitely going to show his age now, probably. If he's ever found again.
Wherever he is. I can't believe 2 of you vanished.
I had a feeling one was Don John. That was one of the ones I remembered, and I was like, because I was like, out of like vague, I'm like, is it sorted alphabetically?
I think those were the worst 2 that we did. So. Those were the worst 2.
I don't suppose halfling luck could get me out of there.
No, I wish.
And where's Botilla's blessing?
What's to say? It's somewhere.
There goes whoever drew the most cards. Who's still alive?
I think my theory is that whoever draws the most cards when all 22 are used up is the one that walks out of there with the Ember, and that's why Steven can't go in.
Because he already has one.
Yeah, so maybe even nobody gets it now. We gotta
Yeah,
wait
sure
for
it's
some other
Ember-related.
randos to walk in there.
Because
There's no way.
there was already. Because Lucas counted how many, or kind of got a feel how many cards, right? He counted 17. We're rolling a d22.
Yeah, there's probably there might have been less than 17 at that point because, to be fair, one of you drew more cards than.
That's what I
originally
figured. Mike was
slated.
just
Yeah, like when you
subtracting
came in,
based on
Croft,
your counts. So
4 urns exploded.
Meaning I was
I-
drawing the 4th.
I was gonna say I drew 3, maybe Carwin drew 1, and those 4 were out of play at that point
Yeah,
because they exploded before you drew.
oh, fucking
that's right. That's right. It was before I
God.
drew. So I drew the 5th one. That makes sense. That there were 17 when Lucas.
Unless one also blows up if you are a coward and don't do it. But he said he felt the blessing, right? Like we thought, or I thought he might have had the Ember. So he might have stolen one of the good ones from us.
Might have. But it was 4 that broke when Lucas, right before Luke, or it was 5 that broke right before Lucas pulled. So that would line up with Gondu not taking any. You're right, well, Marshall missed the session. One of the sessions of all time.
You know, when we started, I said it was going to be a session. I knew we were headed towards reality-altering power. And it was altered. Let me tell you what. So the void was owl. Okay, I need to make a note before I. Wow, I cannot believe the skull. Idiot. Don John.
You pulled like
Did
the
we-
worst three.
Did we pick the worst possible ones?
Yeah. I mean, Don John, skull. There are other bad cards, but that is the Don John and the Void are pretty ruthless.
Character.
Pretty ruthless ones. But don't you worry. Email's coming.
Well, I'll have to miss next week anyway. It sounds like you may need next week to figure out what we're doing anyway, but
Plausibly. But I'll let you know. We might be a go. But I will be speaking with some of you about your lack of luck. I'll say lack of luck. We should have known Roll20 wanted us to be doomed.
Yeah. Expected.
It's just what it was. And yeah, we'll chat about how we want to. Because I don't want to submit anyone to watching a one-on-one fight. Because I don't know how I'm gonna take.
I kind of want to front one see that.
I mean, if you want front,
Can you give me the death character sheet? Can I be dead?
yeah, there you go. You can be dead if you want.
Let's fight Will. Let's go, Will.
I'll have to figure out. I think there is death character sheets I have to use. Maybe. I hope. I'll have to just figure that out. We'll find out. The first roll was freaking skull.
Avatar death. I don't know. He likes his odds. He feels like he's going to be rewarded for being bold.
Quite bold.
And
Quite
if
bold.
he dies, like he's literally a martyr, like dying in the place where he gets to carry on to the next world. Like he's feeling pretty good about this either way.
okay, let's glass half full this. Let's dig into the lore here.
Mm-hmm.
God, Lord,
Dead yet.
Nathaniel, all the stuff with Clavius, death surrounds him at all times, right? Fits the character Owl. Void, you said that fits his shadow persona. And Lucas, he lost all of his possessions, but he has something that he cannot lose. So, I mean, who knows what that could mean?
Good point.
So maybe we actually drew the best possible cards.
I think in the end they're going to be the best cards
What we're fated to draw.
for our story. Maybe not for theirs, but for our collective story. In the end, it'll be a telling. I just have to do a little work. Hit the workbooks.
The little D&D gymnastics.
Yeah. Lagandu, impressive. No draws.
Marquette.
Nothing.
That is self-control. Self-control.
You gotta make it to the end, man.
Oh man, I'm
Not
excited.
done yet.
I'm excited to see these other two cards. Hit Nathaniel. And hopefully he defeats death so he can draw them.
I feel like of anyone, he would be my best 1v1 close quarters.
Yeah, I think he's fairly well suited for this.
And he's
I
got
even
his
remember
new
what Nathaniel can
tricks.
do.
Well, he's got some things that he learned by training in the mind of Clavius. So just as he walked up the side of the wall there, he may have a few tricks up his sleeve that previously the DM glossed over, but now might be pertinent. I think the statement was, "Oh, I'll look over his character sheet at some point in time."
Sounds
Everybody's
right.
so powerful.
Sounds right.
But yeah, we'll just see what new goodies he's got.
Yeah, this will be interesting. I don't know how they balance this, and I don't know if it's balanced at all. It's interesting. It's very strange. But it exists. It shall be done.
Yamat
Sorry.
fight. Oops.
Might start next week with a fight. With a 1v1. I don't suspect it'll take all that long.
Oh, just 2 turns. It should go.
For me to kill it. Just wipe out 3 of you. 3 out of the 4 that were here.
Michael just figured out how to actually kill us. Put a deck of many things in front.
Stalig walks out of the warbling portal holding a deck of many things. He hands it. Xerxes and KO. I don't kill people. You guys do it.
Kill yourself.
Draw on your gods.
So the
Okay.
big question is, if Nathaniel dies, and with Lucas being sent off, do we get to know what the other 4 cards would have been? Or is this going to be a Floon situation?
I mean, I'm not even going to worry about those other cards at this point.
I gotta win it now. I'm not. You can't make me hold on to this grudge for another 4 years. I won't do it.
Better bring your A game then.
Freaking.
Just gotta win the initiative. That's the main thing.
Win the initiative. Gotta win the initiative. That's it.
Very important.
I'm practicing my D20s. Eh?
I mean, I say the Avatar death may have like a death touch. You know, I'm trying to figure out the best way to fight something, and it may be.
Remember that time Croft got a level and then that was the highs and the lows. Like that was like, and then it was like, oh, and then it.
Did he though? Because in the burnt, don't we have to take a long rest before the level kicks in?
Well, he's taking a long rest. Right
Very,
now.
very long.
Taking a long rest. Yeah, the void is the card that at the end of crit roll.
If I had drawn anything else but the idiot, I would not have drawn again, even if it offered.
Yeah, I liked that a lot. That was like a smart, like, you played it dumb.
Drop me below 10. I just imagine Al being like, there, like, what was I doing? Oh, I was about to draw a card. Oh, that was great. Let's do it again.
I mean, D&D bucket list.
Cool. Another character gone because you fucked his brain up.
Yep, it's all about brains.